All right, welcome back to another episode of NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil. We're talking about technical analysis. Like and subscribe if you want. So we're looking at Bitcoin and how it's making a comeback. And I kind of drew a black line here to represent the potential retracement of Bitcoin. The way we found that out is by saying this is a diamond pattern right here. Not necessarily the best example of a diamond pattern, but we would take this height and we would place it right whenever it has the breakout. We imagine we could see it push up, come down and test this trend line, and then from there take off. But it could be heading back up to 104 if it breaks this downward trend line. Definitely want to wait and see if that closes and holds. And then when we look over at XRP, it's doing some consolidation. However, is getting a little bit of divergence where we have the volume going downwards and then the price is actually increasing even though the volume is going downwards. And we're also getting closer to the April 10th day, April 10th to 16th, somewhere in there. There's going to be some major news and it could push it to break above this downward trend line and start heading up towards $5 to $7. When we look at XCN, we are still forming that cup and handle pattern. Now is a very good entry as we could do some confirmation of it broke above this downward trend line, is holding for consolidation. We do want to see a little bit of movement upwards, breaking past 0.013. However, we also have decreasing volume down here at the bottom. You can see that would be considered divergence when this starts pushing upwards, and we will most likely see a massive volume candle pushing that way up towards 3 cents and even higher. Also looking down here at the RSI, you see it is considered oversold on the daily. And we do want to see that crossover. And when we see yellow cross over purple like we did right here, or sorry, yellow crossing under purple, then purple took off and yellow crossing under purple, we could potentially see purple taking off and forming that very nice cup and handle for XCN when you look at the bigger pattern. And then XYO is something to be looking at. It is also testing very well in a cup and handle pattern and has a downward black trend line and a wedge where we want to see a break above this black trend line and break out of this fair value gap in between the two yellow lines. Also a nice support would be testing above the 200 EMA. Looking over at BNT, definitely a nice entry here. A better entry around 0.4, but it could potentially just have a quick scalp movement up here, maybe even get to 0.55 before having some kind of rejection similar to this, and then continuing that black upward trend line, which we'll draw right here, and using that as support. However, you do see the red CM guppy causing a lot of pressure, but overall the EMA is showing that it is bullish along with holding support on that trend line. ZRX is one that's getting some consolidation, something just to keep an eye at. It does have a really high potential, but the lowest point, 0.15, is about the lowest we've seen for a while. You can consider that support 0.13. So it does have a ways it can retrace. Just keep ZRX in mind. DNT and Core are the last two. And actually ADA, I wanted to talk about. DNT also forming the wedge, downward trend line. We could see it touch even lower, but the orange line right here seems to be pretty nice support. ADA, Ondo, ADA is looking really nice, very strong trend line, also holding above the 200 EMA. I would not say don't buy this, but not financial advice. It looks like a very good entry right now for ADA. Also, it is a tax-free coin. Same with Ondo and XRP. And Ondo is starting to build some support and potentially moving up to the 200 EMA before making the right shoulder. You can see a left shoulder, head, and then a right shoulder, and then moving back up towards the $1.70 mark. Looking at Spell real quick and Core. Spell is consolidating. We want to start seeing that push up, obviously, above this 200 EMA. And last one is Core. Core also in consolidation, but starting to build a little bit of support. Definitely just keep an eye on that. We'll do two more, why not? Doge testing over the 19 cents. It's probably going to do a similar formation of an inverse head and shoulders and do a little bit of retracement and then a buyback and start pushing upwards in the cup and handle form that you've seen in XYO and XCN. And Toshi, consolidation, waiting for confirmation, but high potential to move upwards. It is a meme coin, just keep that in mind. I always recommend Grass if you're looking to get free passive income from using your broadband internet. You get points, which turns into tokens. Tokens is around $1.20 right now, and it's no brainer. It's free money. I also recommend MEXC for the best trading platform with lowest fees, and Coinbase where they're giving out free airdrops for just learning about the coin. That's it for today. I will see you guys on the next one.